Everybody, welcome into Season 6 already. It's been an unfortunate matter of circumstances in Season 5 where we did not make the postseason to defend our championship. That championship went to the Phoenix Coyotes, but alas, a new season is upon us, and this is the way the roster shakes out. We've done a whole offseason. I got a little bit run down, and my throat was pretty scratchy for a few days. So I don't know how much that really matters, but I'm just explaining that I haven't gotten anything recorded, number one, because I have been run down, and it's been quite a few days since I last recorded the off-season episode. So not even I know a whole lot of what really went down in the off-season. I know for a fact we got this guy in free agency. Rhett Rockshani, we did the draft, but we didn't get anybody really noteworthy in the draft. We looked at the top 5 picks from that draft in the last video, if you want to see it. We did sign Rockshani in free agency. Bringing back pretty much the whole core is brought back. There are players that I'm contemplating moving on from, but we did re-sign Lars Eller in the summer. What did we give Lars Eller in the summer? A 3-year, $5 million deal. That, to me, it's pretty movable. He is an 86. You could see the stats just on the screen for yourself, his attributes. He's a very serviceable player, but man, $5 million to play on my third line. A little bit steep, but we got depth here. We do have depth with that move. And might I remind you, can I go to roster moves from this screen? I can. Might I remind you, if I can go to the AHL, it's going to take a second here. We've got a guy that we're waiting on at center. He should be playing down here. There he is. Lucas Voivodas. He's our, when did we pick him? 4th overall first-round pick. And he's my created player for the game mode. You can see the potential for yourself and the age, 21 years old. He should grow. He's a 72 right now. He's a 72 overall. He's got 2 years left. That ELC begins now. He's got 2 years left at a, obviously a sub $1 million contract. Let's put it that way. So we're waiting on him at center. That will certainly fill a spot. I feel like when he's ready, which might be next season, we can maybe look at trading Lars Eller. That's the whole reason I brought up Eller, and the whole reason that I'm bringing up a couple of players in mind. I'm also thinking about potentially in the future moving on from Brendan Gallagher. He's now 26 years old, and he really hasn't grown. He hasn't really done anything. He's got 2 years remaining, $2.1 million deal, playing on my third line. This is what he's been doing. I mean, the production is basically third line, fourth line production. And that's basically what it is. He has had some time in the past in the power play, just not developed the way that I hoped he would. Now, I'll say this. He's 81 overall. His attributes look like this. He's a pretty decent player when you put it all together. And you need role players on your team. We're going to need someone to fill out those third line, bottom six, those kind of roles. And Gallagher does that. He's got decent categories all the way around, but he is a player that I'm considering in the future. I don't know for sure if this is even going to happen, but I might move on from Brendan Gallagher at some point. It is a movable contract, and if we're going to move him, I feel like it's got to be soon. The rest of the core top 6, I'm pretty happy with. Kamayev is a bit of an oddity on the second line, but we're going to give him a shot. He's 24 years old. He has a great shooting category. We don't have a true sniper on this team, but this guy might be kind of, based on that shooting category, he might be the closest thing we've got to a sniper that is not a Pacioretty. Pacioretty is not a sniper. He's a power forward, but he's got a 4.5-star shooting category. Duchesne has a 4.5-star shooting category. Brad Marchand has a 4.5-star shooting category as well. And then there's LeBlanc. When did we draft LeBlanc? He's not a created player. He's drafted. We gave him a 7-year deal. He was drafted first round 2009 at 18th overall by the Canadiens. So he was already here when I booted up the GM mode. How old is he now? He's 27. And we gave him that long deal. What did he do last year statistically? 22-goal year. I mean, he's improving a little bit. He is getting a little bit better statistically speaking. But the overall rating has jumped up there too. He's an 87 overall. Listed as a center, but we got him playing on the wing because of the face-off ability. And so I figure you can get a good little dynamic duo going between Su Kai Ming, my created player Su Kai Ming, who has an 81 faceoffs rating and a high defense category. Sukai Ming is kind of he is truly basically the Singaporean version of Sidney Crosby, and for some reason he has gotten bigger. He was like 5'11", 170 something, I think, when we started the GM mode. He's 6'2", 194. Why did he grow? He grew. He got massive. I'm speechless. I don't have anything to say. But ignore those AHL stats. It doesn't matter. He played 80 games last year, 2 seasons in the league, and look at the point differential from season 1 in the league to season 2. 35 points to 61 points, a plus 15 rating last season in the regular season. We had no playoff games, of course, last year. But the playoff games that he did play, 19 games played, 18.7 goals. This guy is legit. He's the real deal. I think he can get a nice thing going between LeBlanc and Ming, with LeBlanc playing on the wing beside Ming. Nice little rhyme we got going there. So that's the way the forwards look, just so you can see it for yourself. Defense-wise, Hedman, Subban, Termernes, Krug is the new addition from free agency. We got a 27-year-old Torrey Krug in here. And he has a 5-star shooting category. Sorry, my throat is still a little bit irritated here as I record this. So this is Torrey Krug from last season. I don't even know where he spent it. Yeah, I got something in my throat right now as I do this commentary. I got to battle through this. We're going to go Butler, Babchuk. On D, we have no healthy extras at the time that I am starting the season. So right now, we have no healthy extras. On D or at forward, we can just call those guys up as needed. But this is my defense core. It's like I said, you got the studs on the first pair. You got Subban and Hedman. Termernes is a really solid, he would be a pretty decent first pairing guy on some teams. But he's an excellent option on the second D pair. And then Krug kind of slides in nicely to fit with Termernes. Then Butler and Babchuk just shore it up on the third pairing. How much are we paying these 2 third pair guys? We're paying Butler. That's a nice fair value deal right there to a 31-year-old. Man, I really got something irritating my throat. Like I said, my throat was really on fire one day a couple days ago. And I feel way better, but man, as I'm speaking, something is totally scratching at my throat. And then we got a 34-year-old Anton Babchuk that we've got 1 year left. 1 year left, so he's serviceable for one more season. There's the salary cap information for season 6, so it is in the video. I figure I'll just throw this in the video before we sim. You can skip past this if you want to, but I'm going to scroll through every team and who's on what on each team. I'm just going to scroll real fast. We're in jersey numbers. This is the Anaheim Ducks and their entire crew. I'm just going to go through this real fast. If you want to see any of the names and where players have ended up, I figure this is probably the fastest way to do this. We're going to go through all the teams in the league. I guess I'll just kind of keep rambling on as we go through this. I did see Desharnais there. He's still in Boston, so Desharnais is still a member of the Bruins. Remember, we traded him there way back long ago. I wonder if there's going to be any noteworthy changes. Sedin's still in Buffalo, so Henrik Sedin still hasn't retired. This is the Flames. Camilleri just retire already, so Johnny Gaudreau can get his number 13. It's the only reason that Gaudreau is not wearing the number 13. So I'm going through this super fast just to see if there's any noteworthy names. This was a Stanley Cup finalist, Carolina Hurricanes, in the most recent season that we just played out. Cam Ward is still there. Chicago Blackhawks look completely different from when the GM mode started. They've, of course, moved on from the likes of Patrick Kane, and I think they've moved on from Brandon Saad. I didn't pay attention to if Saad was in there, but you can go back and see the Hawks if you're interested. This is the Columbus Blue Jackets as they enter Season 6. The Dallas Stars entering Season number 6. Don't have Sagan in this universe. They don't. They do have Mark Stahl. That's a weird one. Abdelkader. This is the Detroit Red Wings. Louis Eriksson is the captain here now. The Edmonton Oilers. Boy, do they wish they had McDavid in this game world. We're going to see McDavid in a little bit when we get down to the Vancouver Canucks. The LA Kings. And how they shake out now in Season 6. Minnesota Wild. They got Corey Crawford. That's a shocking one. Yeah, the Hawks, I think, in the GM mode anyway. I think there's our team and our captaincies. Hopefully nothing's changed here. Yeah, nothing has really changed in terms of the captains. But as I mentioned, the Hawks basically move on from everybody that they've got on their team, that they move on from most of the big names on their team early on in the GM mode. It doesn't take them long. And I mean, in the real world, they did trade out a number of players in the real world. I believe, did they not trade Hjalmarsson at one point? They moved on from Hjalmarsson at one point. They traded Saad. Oddly enough, I think Saad came back. Did he not come back for a second tour of duty with the Blackhawks at one point? I don't know. Saad's had a really weird career, Brandon Saad. He's played on a number of interesting teams since he left those championship-winning Blackhawks teams. Erik Karlsson is still there. It's 2018 in the game world, so getting very close to when Karlsson actually left Ottawa. I remember Erik Karlsson in 2017 carrying that Ottawa Senators team on a crazy playoff run. There's Loic Arnaud, so he's in the league now. That's a created player of mine drafted by the Coyotes. So pay attention to Phoenix this season. They are the defending Stanley Cup champions as well. I don't think Arnaud was on the team that won the Stanley Cup, and there's one of those Blackhawks players I was talking about, Patrick Kane. Keith Yandle is the captain here. Patrick Kane found his way to Phoenix. Weirdly enough, I believe in the real world, wasn't Kane, was there something that happened with Kane that he was supposed to be traded, or did his contract, I don't remember what happened. I thought Kane got traded to Phoenix, and then I don't know. I have to look this up. I thought something happened with Kane and Phoenix in the real world. Or maybe I'm just misremembering that. I don't know. Anyway, someone will certainly correct me if they're watching to this point in the video. The St. Louis Blues, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm looking for any of my created players' names as well. It's interesting with Tampa Bay, by the way, in this one, because they have a bunch of good goalies. They traded for Curtis Honey from Nashville. And they have one of my created goalies. And then they have somebody else in the net for their team as well that was really solid. And then they go and trade as well for Honey. So they have 3 really good goaltenders in their organization at this current moment. The Toronto Maple Leafs, Phaneuf is still there as the captain. They got Aaron Ekblad. They did draft Ekblad. That's a solid pick right there. Axel Arnersson, created player of mine, drafted by Vancouver. So the Canucks get Arnersson. Looks like he might be ready to be full-time as a defenseman. There's Connor McDavid on the Vancouver Canucks. What kind of weird alternate universe is this, right? With McDavid on the Canucks, the Washington Capitals have now moved on from Ovechkin. No, they have not. He hasn't retired. I don't know what I'm talking about. Storm Phaneuf? What a name. My God, what a first name. Storm for a first name. Taking the league by storm. Alex Ovechkin is still here as the captain of these Washington Capitals. They have won a championship, I think, in the GM mode, have they not? Ben Bishop's in Winnipeg with the Jets. When did Connor Hellebuck come into the league? This game came out before Hellebuck came into the league, and we're back to Anaheim. Well, it's opening night. It's the first game of the season. We're on the road in Buffalo to start the season, of course. No banner to be raised this season for the Montreal Canadiens. So let's increase that sim speed times 6 simulation. We're just going to run roughshod right through this. And the first goal of the year goes to Brian Bickle, my free agent signing, a slap shot goal from the board. Sukai Ming gets on the board as well. Canadiens up 2-0 at the end of the first period of play. We're just going to run roughshod right through this simulation. Whatever happens, happens. It's opening night. We got a whole season to get through in this one video, but Vanek cuts into the deficit on the power play for the Buffalo Sabres. 3-goal advantage restored, or 3-1 advantage, 2-goal advantage restored by Brian Bickle. Then Rhett Rakshani adds on. Max Pacioretty stacks it up with a 5th goal in the game for the Habs. First of the season for Pacioretty. Louis LeBlanc adds on. Man, the puck just won't stay out of the back of the net for the Habs tonight. Can we get 8? Sukai Ming got one there on the power play, his 2nd of the game, and a multi-goal effort for Sukai Ming to begin Season 6. I love to see it. And the scoring summary from Game 1 out of 82 in Season 6, all of the goals and the assists. Let's look at can we get the 3 stars? Well, we can get the stats. We can get their road stats here. We'll sort it by points. 3-point game for LeBlanc. 3-point game for Ming. Bickle with a 2-goal night. With 6 minutes and 54 seconds played, he got 2 goals. How many shots did he take? He took 4 shots. So that's a nice 50% shooting percentage for Brian Bickle in his first game on the Canadiens. Lots of players, obviously, with 7, what did we score? 7 goals. If you didn't have a point in this game, it almost feels like you didn't take part in it, does it? And the 3 stars. There is a 3 stars in this screen. Well, onward and upward. I've got a maxed out medical staff going into Season 6. Hopefully that helps us out big time. The 2018-2019 season is underway. And this is such a long sim, but there's a big win over the Red Wings. We've got 2 wins in our first 2 games on the season. Can we make it a hat trick of wins to begin? We will. 5-2 victory over the Senators, and I like to see it. No injuries. Sukai Ming with 4 goals in 3 games. Well, I'd love to keep my commentary to a minimum, but just because of the throat issues that I'm going through, I do have mucus. This is gross. But I do. I have mucus dripping down my throat. There's our first loss of the year, but it was in extra time. So we got a point out of that 1-0 loss to the Rangers. And back home to play Philadelphia with a 3-0-1 record entering this tilt. I would love to see us just brush the entire league off. LeBlanc is gone for an undetermined amount of time. So that's going to be a call-up. Someone from the AHL is going to get called up unless LeBlanc is a day-to-day injury. It's a 4-day injury scouting assignment. What happened? Okay, the assistant coach has altered everything. Ryan White is a good, smart call-up. I agree with that. But swap Ming and Eller, and I think we're going to call it a day. If we swap Sukai Ming, you can play on a line with Brendan Gallagher for right now. This will work. So I would cut the rest of this out. We don't need to see all this editing. No to Dupre. Skip that. You know, man, I was really hoping that the injuries were going to be to a minimum, and of course it has to be LeBlanc is the player that gets hurt. Really? You know what? Continue. I don't want him to re-injure it. I already made my line changes. Ryan White is going to play the 4th line center position for this game against Pittsburgh. We win it. So that's a big one, and if I simulate up one more day to let LeBlanc heal, and then we can take Ryan White out of the lineup. Edit all of these changes out. Now that I show you the lineup, this is how it had to be edited, so this is the way that the lineup looked with LeBlanc out of it. For some reason, this game, when the assistant coach does line changes, they do Sukai Ming so dirty in this game. They put him on the 4th line, and they don't put him on any of the power play or penalty kill, any of that stuff. Okay, Louis LeBlanc back in the lineup, playing the Capitals, 5-0-1 record for the Habs. It's another victory. Now Marchand goes down. So I didn't send Ryan White down because I had a feeling that Brad Marchand was going to go, or not that Brad Marchand himself was going to go down, but I felt like there was going to be another injury that was going to happen. So we're just going to simulate this Rangers game. We're on a good streak to begin the year, which is a very optimistic, very positive sign. Sukai Ming is a beast. 8 goals now. As we enter this tilt against Rangers, it's a loss. Marchand is out for 4 days, much like LeBlanc was. So the injuries are still happening, but they are less severe. So we're just going to have Ryan White. He gets plugged in there. That's just an easy change for me, I guess. So we can just sim. I bet you Marchand comes back before the Islander game. And there it is. In all likelihood, I knew that Marchand was going to come back before we play the Islanders. So we basically take Ryan White, scratch him from the lineup, find Brad Marchand, dress the player, put him in the lineup. And everything should be hunky-dory. I'm going to take a big risk here. Look at me. Look at Ming. 10 goals in 8 games is just unbelievable pacing right now from Sukai Ming. It's going to be a playable injury for Marchand, but we're going to have him play through this. It's a loss. All of our losses have been in overtime or shootout. So all of our losses. Rangers, we lost on the road, 1-0, but we lost in extra time, so we got a point in that game. We lose to the Rangers at home, but in extra time. We get a point in that game. Then we lose to the Islanders. All the New York teams. We only lose to New York teams, New York-based teams this season, apparently. And Ming got a goal, contributing a goal in that game against the Islanders as well. He's up to 11 now. We go on to take on the Devils on the road. The Devils! Can we get back on the right track? We do. 4-1 win. No goal from Ming in that game. 7-0-3 is a torrid pace. 11 goals is a torrid pace to begin the year. In the first month of the season, did we lose in our first regulation loss comes on November 3rd to the Columbus Blue Jackets on the road. At some point, we were going to lose in regulation, but I like to see the beginning of this season has me feeling optimistic, but there's a lot of games left to be played. We've only played, 11 games now, and Su Kai-Ming is better than goal per game right now. Lost to the Panthers in regulation, with Lars Eller going down in that time as well. So that means that'll be an easy substitution with Eller gone. It'll just be Ryan White, third line center position. Eller is a 6-day injury, so it's going to be more than one game for Ryan White. He gets a small little audition on the third line. We're dropping a few games, but it's okay. We've given ourselves this flexibility with the hot start that we had. We knew at some point, and there's Eller, I just can't risk it. I mean, Ryan White is basically just going to be up with the team in the press box for a lot of games and then just fill in when little injuries happen up front. At some point, we'll probably have an injury on D. Hopefully, I didn't speak it into existence. I did not. We won over the Red Wings. And then we're going to have to call up a defenseman at that point. And now going into a back-to-back home and home with the Bruins. The first meetings of the season, we lose 3-2. I don't know if that was a regulation loss to the Bruins. Ming gets on the board again for the first time in a couple of games. He's up to 14 goals. LeBlanc down with another injury. Second time this season he's been injured. So let's look back at the scoring summary from these games real fast if I can find it. Was this first game? It was a loss in a shootout. And this game to Boston, the second one, was also a shootout loss. So we lost 2 games in a row to the Bruins in a shootout. Got to work on those shootout skills. With LeBlanc gone, it just means, again, Ryan White gets into that position, that second line left wing position, going up against Nashville. 2 similarly paced teams. Right now we lost to Nashville in regulation. You know, LeBlanc was like a day-to-day injury. I don't think he even came out of the lineup, so that's good news. We didn't have to put Ryan White in there for those games. That's a good thing for me. We need to get it on the right track. Big win. I'm going to pass on Hendricks. How old is Hendricks at this point? Well, I didn't mean to claim Hendricks, but we did. That was an accident. I accidentally claimed Hendricks on waivers from the Washington Capitals. He is 37 years old, dude, but he's making like barely anything, so it was an accidental waiver claim. It could have been worse. You know, I've got Ryan White up here with my team in the NHL as a healthy extra right here, so, you know, that kind of helps the AHL squad out a little bit. Accidental waiver claim. I meant to look at the player info and not actually claim that player, but anyway, it's fine with me. And we got to win over the Jets. We won 3-2. Su Kai-Ming is rolling hot right now. Get some more goals, 2-0 shutout victory. Hopefully no further injuries after these 2 games between Colorado and Minnesota. The second half of a back-to-back against the Wild. Yeah, whatever, best lines down there in the AHL. So we lost to Minnesota. Was that a loss in regulation? I'm getting curious about, yes, that was a regulation loss. I'm too curious about these losses. What about the standings? So we're right there. But this is a very thick division here in the Atlantic. It is, in fact, it is in both the Metro and the Atlantic divisions. It's tight, vying for position right now, approaching American Thanksgiving. Sometime toward the halfway point in the season, I want to pause and take a look at our team's stats, our players' stats as a whole. I need my best players to be my best players. Su Kai-Ming is certainly doing that. I got a 4th phone. Whoa, wait a minute. Best lines, but why is Elliott? Hold on, I didn't even recognize this. Do we have a different goaltender here? Budai is backing up Price, not Elliott. Okay, I don't care. I mean, Price is going to get the lion's share of the games. Someone went down with an injury. Somebody that's... Didn't I see an injury? Am I going crazy, or did one of my players go down with an injury? Yeah. Torrey Krug did. Ryan White is in there. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, game. So Ellis is going to get in there with the injury to Krug. This is Morgan Ellis, 26-year-old defenseman that we signed 1-year deal on a super cheap minor league contract. Man, I didn't even know that Budai was backing up Price, but it doesn't bother me because Price is playing most of the games anyway. And if we really do go into a slump or something, that's a change we can make. We can revert to Elliott. No, Su Kai Ming. He's got 17 goals now, but he just went down with an undetermined amount of time. For an undetermined amount of time with an injury, that should be Ryan White in his place for right now. So we got an injury on D and an injury on forward. It could be worse. That's kind of like the injuries need to stop, and these guys need to get healthy again, because I've got my 2 healthy extra players, and they're both getting playing time right now. We need to beat the Senators. We did not. Are you absolutely dicking me? Well, did we lose in extra time to the Ottawa Senators? We just got screwballed real hard. I want to show you something. Let me see if did we win the game. Where's the Canadiens logo? We lost in regulation to the Senators. But 7 and 8 weeks for both of those players is a ball buster, especially Su Kai Ming. That's brutal. I mean, that's like his season out the window right there. So, if I get a waiver claim, I'm making a waiver claim. So Ryan White, you're not playing second line center. Everybody's going to move up, in fact. So everybody move up. I got to change all this. I'm gonna shut up, and I'm gonna allow myself to edit all this out, and I will talk after I edit lines. I want you to see the staff abilities. Look at this. Med staff maxed out. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm completely protected against injuries, but it's kind of ridiculous that I got 2 players gone for 7 and 8 weeks with a fully maxed out med staff. So, no Su Kai Ming for basically 2 months. We'll see you in 2 months' time. Do I make a trade? I mean, I got a first-round pick. I got a couple of... if we're really in the thick of a playoff hunt, I could make a trade. And I may make a trade to make our team better on paper. Yeah, here comes the losing. If there's a player on waivers, though, I'm claiming a player if one makes sense. If somebody goes down on waivers and it makes sense, I'm doing it. I'm making a waiver claim. I may look at the trade block and look at other teams' trade blocks and who they're trying to put on their block. And maybe I go after somebody that a team's trying to get rid of. We're going to have to see how the season plays out. So Su Kai Ming, I mean, like I said, he was on pace. I mean, he could have easily had a 40-goal year here. But with that injury, knocking him out for 8 weeks, that's gone out the window. And we were losing some games there. We did turn it around. We got a win over Calgary. 7 weeks until Ming, 6 weeks until Krug. Just a brutal ball-busting time for those injuries. Key pieces. Key players as well. Not just like... It's not like this is like a bottom 6 player that got injured, and there's Duchesne. He's gone for 2 days with what I'm going to assume is a playable injury for Matt Duchesne. He's just going to have to suck it up and get through this. Who's a player that... We could go get Camilleri from the Flames. They're struggling. Maybe we go get Mike Camilleri from Calgary and pry him out of there. I got to figure something out. Oddly enough, Camilleri did play for the Habs in the real world, so that could be a player. We get now Simon Hjalmarsson is down. Oh, man. We just kind of got to suffer through this period of time. It's just something we got to suffer through. In mid-December now, going up against the Canucks on the road, losing some games here and there. It's expected. We're gonna have some losing stretches. We are gonna have some tough games in here. Just something we gotta bite the bullet on. How long has Hjalmarsson gone for? That's what I want to know. A month now until Torrey Krug is back. Hjalmarsson is down for 2 months. I got to make a trade. I feel like I got to make a trade. I really am. I'm going to go take a look after this Carolina game. We win 6-3. I got to make a trade, man. Okay, I tried to get Camilleri. The trade value for Camilleri is just way too much. So let's try this. I'm going to send the San Jose Sharks. I'm trying to get Danny Heatley. Let's get Danny Heatley. So can I pull up? There's Heatley's trade value. So let's compare first Heatley's trade value to a first, a second, and a third, a 2020 second and a 2020 third, and a 2019 first round picks to get Danny Heatley. I'll send them a prospect if they need a little something extra. I want them to retain $1 million out of Danny Heatley's cap hit. He's got 1 year left. Yes, he's 37, but he can still play. He can still offer us something for this season. 37 years old, former second overall pick by the Atlanta Thrashers. Obviously, the big draft pick that the Atlanta Thrashers made. He's making 2.7 for this last year of his deal, end of his career here. Let's give this a shot. So San Jose, we don't have the salary cap not available. Well, what if I get San Jose to... Let me get San Jose to retain. Can I get them to retain? I can't get them to retain much more. I'll get them to retain that $1 million. I'm satisfied with San Jose retaining that like $1 million, and we'll figure out... is there a prospect I could send that would maybe save us a little bit of money? Yeah, I'm just gonna send this deal through. We'll deal with the cap space unless they don't accept this trade. If they don't like this trade, I'm going to come back to the table and throw a prospect in there. Okay, so they rejected it because they didn't like retaining that much salary, but I need you to retain the salary. So in order to get you to do that, what if I send you a prospect? Ooh, would Joe Colborne do it for you? I send him Joe Colborne to get Heatley, plus all these draft picks. And they liked it. Okay, well, there you go. Colborne is off the team. He was down in the A, and it got me Danny Heatley. First game coming up with Mr. 50-07 on the team. Danny Heatley is a Canadian. We have brought the heater to the Habs. I just have to shake it up and try something. And we lose 4-2. We do have a guy that's like got a 60 overall face-off rating. Playing fourth line center now, so that's great. I was forced to send someone down to the AHL because I had literally no cap space. I still have basically no cap space anyway. And Ryan White was the odd man out. He got sent down, and he was playing my fourth line center position, and he was doing quite decently at it. 3-0 win over the Hurricanes. Does Danny Heatley make a difference for this squad? I have no idea. We're dropping so many games, man. It's a fun little experiment, I guess, to do, and I did it. It was a move I have made out of desperation. We're now past Christmas, by the way. 3 weeks out for Krug, 4 for Sue Kai-Ming, no Jalmerson for another 2 months. That's going to be another quandary for us to solve, is what to do with Krug and Sue Kai-Ming when they come back. I mean, we're operating at very limited cap space right now, but I'm thinking, I'll find a way to make room for those guys. I could get Brendan Gallagher traded out of here. That could free up some money, maybe. Just an idea. We're just losing too many games right now as a team. I got to take a look at the play. We're right here. We're right at the turn of the new year, January 1st. We're on December 31st, January 31st. So after this game against Ottawa, we'll pause, look at standings and the individual player stats. Boy, can these guys not return from injury soon enough, because we just cannot find a way to win games to save our lives. What does the standings look like? So the points leaders, by the way, this is the top 8. Johnny Gaudreau is on that list. 39. There you go. Johnny Gaudreau with 39 points. 4th in the league in point scoring. The goal-scoring leaders, Sue Kai-Ming was amongst them before he got hurt. So what could have been the season that could have been for Sue Kai-Ming if it wasn't for getting injured? So we have fallen out of it now. We're at 40 points in the Atlantic Division. That's still right there. I mean, we could definitely theoretically catch Buffalo. The wild card right now would be... It would be out of the Atlantic. It would be Ottawa and Toronto would be in that wild card spot. So we haven't fallen out of it that badly. Of course, our hot start really helped us. This is the way the West looks right now. Who'd we just trade with? With San Jose, right? San Jose, they're right in the thick of a playoff fight right now, but they were fine with moving on from Heatley. It makes sense. 37-year-old, right? It's just kind of a desperate trade for me. Forwards, sorted by points. In 37 games, all 37 games, Pacioretty, 10 goals, 26 points. So he leads the charge, tied with Su Kai-Ming on a points level. But remember, Ming hasn't played since game number 22 of the season. So he's missed all that time, yet still leads the team in goals, is level on points with Pacioretty, who has played 15 more games than he has. Unbelievable. Louis LeBlanc has missed one game this season, 22 points scored, 10 goals. Duchesne, Marchand, Eller. Just want a quick little summary of where we are at the halfway point in the season and what guys have done and have achieved. I didn't even pay attention to Danny Heatley, but he's got 6 goals scored. I didn't pay attention to his statistics and what he did with San Jose before he arrived here, so I have no idea if he has scored a goal since he has arrived on the scene here. Oh, and the power play goal leaders as well. This is what everyone's done. Su Kai-Ming's just been getting it done this year. He's a plus 15 and a 5 power play goals. He just does everything for this team. We'll look at the defense now. Defenseman, not really worried about the point scoring, but we'll sort it by points. Hedman with 8 goals, 20 points, so he's carrying the offensive load for the team. Tamernis, he's getting power play time now with the injuries that we suffered as well. Subban, Babchuk, Ellis, Krug, Butler, all down the list. And what we have experienced defensively, of course, we are missing Torrey Krug right now. He got injured in game number 21 on the season. Goaltending-wise, Budaj has gotten in there for 7 games, and he's done all right. I mean, it's a save percentage, and it's a good save. He's been good. He's a 77 overall, and he's been more than solid when relied upon to get in there and give Carey Price a bit of a breather. So I don't want to look at like the power play, penalty kill breakdown, team standings. I don't want to look at all of that information right now. I'm not really going to make any dramatic changes anyway. I just want to simulate. It is what it is. With all these injuries, it is what it is. We just need to get healthy again. There's no point in over-assessing or over-analyzing things like the power play and the penalty kill when all these injuries are happening to us and are out of my control. We're a team that it feels like, at the moment, it feels like we're in free fall. That's just how it is. Need a win, need points. We did lose an extra time to Tampa Bay. Krug returns in a week. That's huge for us because I can put him back in the lineup. We so desperately need Torrey Krug on that second pair. That might be part of what's letting us down. So many losses. We have gotten back to 500. We're playing 500 hockey now. 16 and 8 hockey club. Toronto was running away. Look at that. 21-13-5 Toronto Maple Leafs team entering this matchup, and we beat them in that game. Krug is, you know what, get him back in the lineup right away. Krug is back. That means, Ellis, you're scratched. Well, that's one good sign on the road to getting healthy again. And soon it will be Su Kai-Ming as well, returning from an injury in 10 days' time. Krug may be going through a playable injury when he gets back into the lineup in this game against the Anaheim Ducks. Come on, it's a 13-23-3 Ducks team. They're struggling this season. No reason we can't beat them. Need a win here. I need Carey Price. Lock it down. Lost 5-4. Lost in extra time to the Anaheim Ducks as well. Struggling Oilers team. Beat those guys. We did 3-1 win. I thought someone else got injured. Nope. Su Kai-Ming might return ahead of this game against the Coyotes, but I don't want to rush him back prematurely. And there it is. I'm going to let him sit for one more game, and then he's back in the lineup. And someone gets scratched. I don't know who gets out of the lineup for that one. That is going to be... Oh, Ming is back in there. Ming is back. Did it scratch? Well, who was in there? I don't even know who was in there, but it looks like Ming is back. And so the lineup's gotten thrown around again. I might have to put Danny Heatley. Has he been scoring? He had like 6 goals last time I checked. He has another goal. I might have to try Danny Heatley at some point on the second line with Su Kai-Ming. That could be a fun line. Oh, Kamayev got injured. I didn't even realize that's what happened. Kamayev got injured. Leo Komarov. He's making $1 million, and it's a tempting waiver claim, but I'm going to pass on that. Oh, Pumpel is down on waivers as well, so sending a couple players down on waivers. Kamayev got hurt. I wondered who got out of the lineup, and Ming comes back and Kamayev gets injured. Great. So First came back with Sukai Ming against the Blues. It's a win. Ming did not score in that. Holland went down with an injury for a couple of days. We're just going to screw this game. We're just going to simulate. You know, the whole point of me upgrading the med staff is that we don't get all these stupid injuries. And you know what happens? I jump into the Season 6 simulation and we just have injury after injury, including 2 of my better players missing multiple weeks at a time. Unbelievable game. Oh, I feel extremely unfairly treated by the game right now. I really do. We're going to get Kamayev back. I got to edit that line. Okay, someone is going to be the odd man out here. It's going to be, oh, Heatley's fallen down to an 81 overall, but that's just age probably taking its course. Someone's going to be the odd man out. I'm going to try, I got to take out Greening. I think we got to take Greening out. Okay, Kamayev is back. He's back in the lineup. Not 100% healthy, but we're going to play him. 6 weeks until Hjalmarsson. So no Simon Hjalmarsson. I took Greening out of the lineup. A huge 7-2 win. Sukai Ming back on the board, baby, with 19 goals. Now, I mean, if he can just score 2 goals every night, he might be able to eclipse a 40-goal season. It's the All-Star game. All right, who represented the Habs in the All-Star game? Just going to look at the East. Ovechkin, Crosby, Drouin. That's just a delicious top line, I'm going to be honest. Malkin, Stamkos, Kessel. You can't go wrong there either. Boychuk with Ikonen. Sedin, who does Ikonen play for? I don't know if... oops. I don't know if I can look at... I can't look at that here. Lee, Spezza, Nyquist. So no Habs in terms of forwards are represented here in the All-Star game. Murray, Girardi, Hedman. There you go, Victor Hedman. And is that it? Curtis Honey and Carey Price. So Curtis Honey did get here with the Tampa Bay Lightning now. Former Nashville Predator goaltender in this GM mode. He was drafted by Nashville. Onward, beyond the All-Star break. And did Bo Bennett get injured in this game? And this game is super realistic. Bo Bennett injured. Past the All-Star break, late January. Returning to action against the Flyers, we win. No Sukai Ming goal there. But wins are wins. Wins mean everything right now. And I'm telling you, the difference between not having a player like Sukai Ming or having a Torrey Krug in our lineup is absolutely vital to have those guys. So Morin on waivers. It's a tough one. He's making a minor league deal, right? Yeah, minor league value. It's a tempting waiver claim because, we're going to have, if we have a D injury, I could... he could slide up in the AHL lineup. I'm just going to say no for right now. It's not a need for me for right now, and it's not much of a player there. But anyway, we'll see what comes of injury. Hopefully, we have no more injuries. Knock on wood. We beat Minnesota. Now we're playing Dallas at home the next night. 6-1 win. No, we didn't even need contributions in any of these games from Sukai Ming. He's still stuck on 19 goals for the season. Clean bill of health coming out of those games. And now it's the Nashville Predators on the road. 4 weeks until Hjalmarsson is back. I was hoping that this wouldn't take me an hour and a half. It has taken me exactly an hour and a half to this point just to get here to where we are. And that's mostly due to all the injuries and line editing. And we're on like a 4-game win streak. Great time of the season to go on a heater. This team is night and day when they do and do not have Sukai Ming. I think exclusively that guy. Also, Torrey Krug. Torrey Krug is a big part of the lineup on the defense core. We did lose to the Coyotes, the defending champs. 2 losses there, and there's an injury. Butler goes down with an injury. That should just be Ellis right in there. That I can live with. So Butler on D is down. Ellis slides in there. We've seen Ellis get into the lineup when Torrey Krug went down with his multi-week-long injury. It was like a 2-month injury almost for Torrey Krug. He missed a chunk of time in there along with Sukai Ming. Matching up for the second time with the Oilers. We win that game. Someone got hurt in that game. There was another injury on that list. Kamayev for the second time has been injured this season, but Chris Butler's coming back soon. Did Kamayev, we put Greening in the lineup. That's right, Greening was my healthy scratch. I'm just going to sim a couple of days. Butler's back. So I'm going to sim a couple of days. I want to see if we can get a report on Kamayev's injury length. Knowing this game, it'll be like a 5-week injury. Simulate one more day. Now, it won't tell me because it's going to show the stats and the team leaders for the Panthers. So I need to go to my injury report. Still being evaluated. Okay, so he's still being evaluated. Hjalmarsson is out with post-concussion syndrome, so we definitely have to play this game with no further information on Kamayev. We lose 4-0. It is still an injury being evaluated. We have no further confirmation on Kamayev yet. And there it is. Ooh, Jordan Nolan on way. I'm gonna probably claim that player. We could use 60 overall 60 face-offs as a center though. He's making that cheap value deal, but 78 overall. You know, we've got Ryan White. We can call up Ryan White. I'm gonna pass on that. If his face-offs were good, I would claim the player though, because we desperately need a depth center in case of injuries like that. The Kamayev one isn't too bad. It's 4 days till he comes back. I think it's like 3 days now when we play the Capitals. He'll be back in another game or so. Then Tamernis goes down. And with the injury to Tamernis, it's just Ellis just slides in there. Thank God Butler got healthy real quick so we could have that healthy extra D just slide in there. Big 7-1 loss. So Kamayev back in there could be a big difference maker in terms of the way the team plays. We had Greening playing in his role. Fraser, please be a good face-off guy. You know what? What's he making? Yes, claim him. Screw it. Gotta make that waiver claim, baby. So I'm always looking for depth options on waivers, and with injuries being as uncertain as Tamernis is a 9-week injury. You know, the deadline is quickly approaching. But I made my trade. I got Danny Heatley. I made my move. So 9 weeks is going to be, that's like 2 months. So the end of April. Ooh, that would be into the playoffs with Tamernis. Now Ellis is gone. Who's playing on D now? I'll tell you, I freaking hate these injuries. It's so stupid. Greening is playing D. No, he's not. He's not playing D. In fact, scratch the player. I can't call a player up because of the salary cap. Well, maybe I could send Greening. Can I send a player down? Can I send Greening down to free up cap space? Well, unfortunately, I'm locked into Greening playing on D because I have no cap space. I don't have any room to send a player down or call a player up. I'm just kind of locked into this situation that I'm in until my defensemen get back healthy. Tamernis is gone for 9 weeks, so I just can't have another injury on D. It just kind of is what it is. Ellis is still an undetermined amount of time. Until Ellis is back healthy, we got to put Greening on defense. So a forward playing D, not optimal, obviously. I feel like if I send... okay, Hjalmarsson is back. Oh, man, okay. I finally got a D called up because of the return of Hjalmarsson from injury. He's back in there. I got to send down Peter Holland, who was playing like fourth line center. So I sent down Holland, called up Dumoulin. Dumoulin is playing on D, and there you go. Ellis is back. But, you know, we got to keep Dumoulin up because of all the injury. The injury to Tamernis is long-term, so we got to just keep a healthy extra defenseman up here anyway. So, Ellis, you're going to get in there. Dumoulin gets scratched. And there you go. That'll solve that problem. So I got to call up Dumoulin. Sent down Holland. He cleared waivers. Got Hjalmarsson back in here. We're missing Ellis, who just got back in. So Tamernis is the only injury now with Ellis back in the lineup. And I get to keep doing... I'm just keeping Dumoulin up because who knows what kind of injuries we're going to run into in the future. And honestly, I'm just going to... Hjalmarsson really just got injured again. Oh, boy. You know, just sim past the deadline. I made my trade. It was Danny Heatley. I made my big trade. I don't have any assets to move. It is what it is. We just got to wait for a couple of guys to get healthy. I'm just skip the trade negotiations. There's really nothing out there for me to acquire. I took a peek at it. And the players that are on the block, the trade value is either just way too high. Like, there's guys that are 36, 37 years old on the trade block for some of these teams. And the trade value for these guys is out the wazoo. So anything happen in the league on... Hjalmarsson is down for like... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hjalmarsson is down for like a week with an injury. I want to look at all teams. So deadline day stuff. Junior Harrington and Kenneth Beckett from New Jersey to Vancouver in exchange for Keith Ballard. Ulf Havelid and a first-round pick acquired by Detroit in exchange for Louis Eriksson. So the Coyotes are stacking up. They're looking to go for it. Trevor Cox and a first-round pick acquired by Detroit in exchange for Timo Pulkkinen to Nashville. I can't pronounce today. Oh, these are all old. These are older trades from earlier in the season. Tony Rangela, Flames GM mode legend. He goes to Florida in exchange for some draft picks from San Jose. Martin Havlat. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. From San Jose, but San Jose also made a trade with Philadelphia. That's what it is. So Havlat goes to Philly. I didn't even notice this. But Columbus sent Daniel Sedin to Ottawa. So he's now in Ottawa. The trade value must have been ridiculous to get that player. They sent a first-round pick and a first-round pick. So that's all the transactions. I put my phones away for the deadline. I just want to get past this. Hjalmarsson is like a week-long injury. We're just going to play it out. He's playing fourth-line center. Someone else can get in there and play fourth-line center for a couple of games. And we're just going to have to make it. It's just one of those things, like I said earlier, we're just going to have to make it through this phase. Su Kai-Ming no longer leads the team in goal scoring, so that injury must have had a big effect on him. Hjalmarsson is back. Who was playing? Okay, Greening was playing fourth-line center. I can live with that for a couple of games. Hjalmarsson just has to make it. He just has to be cut out for that fourth-line center position for this season. It's the way that we've rolled. We're approaching mid-March. Not a lot of season left for this team. If it's going to happen, it needs to happen now. We need to get hot. Well, luckily, we got a 32, 23, and 10 record, which is really good. We're right there with the Bruins. We got to be very close to being level on points with Boston. Someone went down with an injury. Who was it? Babchuk. That's a defenseman, but that's not a massively costly injury on D. It should just be Dumoulin just gets right in there. All right, take a look at the standings now. Points leaders, Drouin is killing it, but he's right there. Crosby's right there. McDavid is right there. We knew that was going to happen with McDavid. I bumped McDavid up before we started the GM mode. Remember, Su Kai-Ming was amongst the goals leaders. Not anymore. Drouin has eclipsed 44 goals. He's going to score 50. Goodness gracious. I don't think I've seen a 50 goal scorer in this GM mode, even with Ovechkin being in there. So, yeah, we're right at the playoff cutoff line right now. It's do or die right now. We got to get hot. The time is now. And Tampa Bay, with all that help from Drouin, they're not in the playoff picture right now. This is the way the West looks, so it's in the video so you can see it. Vancouver, oh yeah, they're in that playoff line. I mean, the West, look at the division, look at the Pacific. The margin between the top three teams and then the bottom four teams in the Pacific is ridiculous. The fall off is crazy. And then you've got this pack from number 3 all the way to number 6 in the Central Division is right in the in the conversation in the standings right there. And then Nashville and Colorado kind of run away with that division. Simulate to the end of it. And look how tightly packed the Metro is as well as we sim beyond this game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. On the road, facing Jonathan Drouin's team. We win that game big. 4-week injury for Babchuk. Please, no more injuries on defense. We can't handle it. We can't handle another breakdown on defense. John Mitchell, if you were a defenseman, you get claimed. Well, he's making like $1 million or something. I don't think I could afford that waiver claim with the cap space I'm operating at right now. I don't know if that loss to Ottawa was in regulation. There's a win over Florida in regulation. We need wins. These are against the Eastern Conference opponents, so we do need the regulation wins as well at this stage of the game. If you're going to drop a game to Ottawa, at least get a point in that game. That's kind of what I'm saying right now. I don't even know where the Senators are in the standings, but there's Damon Severson. That's a really tempting one. A 77 overall could be a nice, option should we get injuries. How much was the contract? Screw it. I'm claiming everybody off waivers right now. I need the players. I don't have it. I don't have a team right now with all the injury. If we get hurt on D, I got Damon Severson as a potential call-up from the A. It's just that you can never be too careful with injuries being as uncertain as they are, and with us missing as many players on D as we are missing 2 defensemen already. You can never be too careful. If you have an opportunity to claim a decent player off waivers, you got to take it. Injuries may well cost us a potential shot at a playoff appearance in this season. The big ones being the Su Kai-Ming, the length of time he was out, and the difference maker he is for this team. 3-0 win. We need him to get hot. I'd like to see Su Kai-Ming just torch other teams with his offensive capabilities. Put the puck in the back of the net. We are collecting points. We're up to 12 losses in extra time. 36-25 and 12 record now. Going up against Damon Severson's former team that we claimed him off waivers from. We win. Sean Monahan on waivers. You know what? Gosh dang. You know, he's going to grow. Give me Sean Monahan. He's going to grow. He's a waiver claim. He's a free player. Sean Monahan is going to grow. We just got to wait on Sean Monahan. That's an easy claim for me. Sean Monahan's going to be a beast when he comes through. It may take him several more years of the GM mode, but he's going to come through at some point. And that's a player I didn't even have to trade for. I got to run with it. I couldn't pass that waiver claim up. I know I've claimed everybody off waivers this season. The entire league is going to be so pissed at me because of the amount of players I've taken off waivers. And we're approaching the 2-hour mark on recording this one. Wow. I didn't think I'd be sitting here going this long with a recording session. You know what's going to happen? Babchuk's going to come back healthy, and then somebody else on D is going to get injured right away. I know what we all got to be thinking right now. There's Babchuk. Don't put that evil on me. Babchuk coming back, and then someone gets injured or Babchuk gets re-injured. Come on, do right by me here at the end of the season. What is this now, April? We're right at the tail end of things. We got to take a look at the standings on a day-to-day basis. 5-1 victory. Su Kai-Ming leads the team in goals again. Druin, 88 points. He's going to take the Art Ross trophy. It's going to be a pretty easy, and he's up to 51 goals. Magical season for Druin. And yet, the Lightning may not even make the postseason. We're up to 88 points. We're chasing down the Boston Bruins for one of the top 3 spots in this division. We just got to win We're at the end of the season, right? Well, we're right here at the tail end of the season, like the final 6 games. Win 3 games and you're in the playoffs guaranteed, right? I mean, just win a couple of games. And no injuries on the way to winning these games, please. Let's win some games here. Buffalo's a tough one. I understand it. Did we lose that game in extra time? Did we get a point in that game? I think we did. We lost in a shootout. We'll take a point there off of Buffalo. Hell yeah. Keep simulating. Tamernis is 2 weeks out. He'll be back for sometime in the playoffs. It'd be a great time for Ming to rediscover that scoring touch he has. He's up to 27 goals now. Imagine what he would have done if he could have played a full season. And I think we lost in extra time to the Red Wings. So we're not winning these games right now. We lost to Florida, but we're getting some points. But it's keeping it spicy in the Atlantic Division. Oh, hot tamales. Look at this. Florida on 90 points. Canadiens on 90 points. Buffalo on 90 points. The wild card right now is ourselves in Buffalo. So this is a big head-to-head with Buffalo, is it not? We need to just get points. We got 3 games. If we can win all 3 games, you're in. You win all 3 games, you're in the playoffs. You control your own destiny, and it begins with this game against a 40-win Sabres team. They're good. We know they're good, and we win. Ellis goes down with an injury. So that'll just be Dumoulin getting in there where Ellis was out or was in there with that injury. We just got to play this out. That's a big win over Buffalo, though. We needed it just to get into the postseason. If we can get into the postseason, we can ride high with our lineup. Whoever's injured, whoever's out, we'll make do. And now 2 defense. I got 3 defensemen down on injury. Well, this is why of course we would get a couple of injuries on D going toward the postseason, but this is why I claimed either Severson or I'm going to call up Weston. You're my call up, Weston. You're getting in there. Man, this game screwed me over with so many injuries here in the late stages. It's such a good thing I brought Babchuk back. This is the last game of the season. Let's simulate up to this game. How long is Butler going to be gone for? Because we got so much going on. Points leaders, there's the points. Goals leaders, Druin up to 53. He's going to take home a lot of hardware this year. We're in. We're a playoff team. We have locked it down. The question is, who's gonna win the division? We've either got Boston or Toronto if we can stay in the third spot in the division in the first round. This is a big head-to-head with Florida because this will determine. If you see Florida wins this game, they're level on points with us. This is the West. Just a quick snapshot of the West. I'm concerned about this division. We're in. It's just a question of who are we going to play in the playoffs. What was I going to look at? Injuries. So Ellis is out. We know that. Man, we got 2 defensemen that are out so long. Another month until Ellis. Tamernis will return sometime in the first round, I believe, with that concussion. Butler's still being evaluated. 3 defensemen down on injuries. Crucial, especially Tamernis being a big one. So, you know what? Let's sim this game. This is a pivotal game against the Panthers. Let's just go into the simulation. Su Kai-Ming, give me a game. Give me a game, Su Kai-Ming. Someone for the Canadiens, give me a big game. Bickle! Well, he came through in the simulation in the first game, and now in the final game of the season, he gets the first goal of the sim. Is that a good omen for this final matchup? Chalmerson with a late tack-on goal for the first period to up the lead 2-1. Tony Rongela, no. He was acquired by Florida. He comes through, cuts the deficit 2-1, much like what we saw in the simulation that opened the season against Buffalo. We're clinging tightly to a 2-1 lead in a massive game at the end of the regular season. TJ Oshie ties the game, scoring on Carey Price. Power play from Florida. No, they lead. Mankinen, we're throwing the game away 4-2. That's the game. That is definitely the game. And it looks like the Panthers are going to tie us on points. What does that mean for the playoffs? We had 18 shots. That's it? Don't tell me we got screwed out of a good first round matchup because of that loss to Florida. Because they would have the tiebreaker on wins. They have 45 wins. We needed to win in that game. And our team let us down. I don't know who our first round matchup's going to be against. But we're going to sim a couple of days. And we will find out. We will also get a report on Butler soon as well. How long he's going to be missing time. Hopefully it's not too long. I need that. It's the Maple Leafs. Well, did we finish? And Tamernis is back. Oh, thank goodness. I really want to wrap this up, but I got to take a look at what the division standings. We don't have the division standings here because this is all the playoff matchups. But we're playing the Leafs. It's another matchup against the Maple Leafs. So how did it shake out in the standings? This is the entire league. Let's look at the division first. Atlantic Division. What happened? So the Leafs finished first in the division, and did they finish first in the East? No, they did not finish first in the East. Carolina wins the East. Did they win the President? They won the President's Trophy. So Carolina wins the East and the President's Trophy. The last team to get in. Looks like it's the Winnipeg Jets. They were the last team in the playoffs. Columbus, the last team in the East. So, Atlantic Division. We're getting Toronto. But, so Boston and Florida will play each other in the first round. We know that. Carolina gets, I think they get Buffalo, or do they get Carolina would get Columbus, I believe, and then Philadelphia, Buffalo. Is that the playoff matchups? I got to look at the playoff tree, but let's just sort this by division. I want to wrap this up. My brain is melting. It is really melting right now. I've been doing this for so long. Pacific Division, Eastern Conference looks like this. We can break down stats in another record. I'll break down the stats in another recording session and try to tag it on to the end of the video, but I can't do this in this recording session. My brain is melted. We'll look at the playoff tree. Let's look at the playoff tree, and then I can break down stats in another portion of the video or something like that. I'll figure it out in editing in the future. So it is going to be Carolina, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Columbus. So that's going to be the matchups. Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Florida, Carolina, Buffalo, Philly, Columbus. And in the West, it'll be LA, Dallas, Vancouver, Phoenix, Nashville, Winnipeg, St. Louis, Colorado. Carolina and Phoenix make it back into the playoffs again. So there is that potential third time around rematch between those two teams should they both go that far. But I'm looking to prevent all of that. I want to beat the Leafs. Third time in the GM mode, we will see the Leafs in the playoffs. Oh, this rivalry is real. I actually want to look at the Leafs But I'm gonna look at the Leafs, but I'm not gonna put it in the video at this point. We'll save the Leafs for the preview ahead of the first round, the game 1 of round 1. I'm telling you, I'm exhausted. I can't even think straight. I'm going to cut this recording session here. I will take a peek at the Maple Leafs, and I don't even know how this is all going to be edited down. I think what I'm going to do is record in a separate recording session when I have a chance to refresh myself. I'll look at the player stats and the team stats and everything, and amend that to the end of this video.